Today on We the People, there are two very special guests with us, the revolutionary Alexander Hamilton and the righteous Thomas Jefferson. These legends are here today to settle a debate upon today's new and controversial immigration orders. As you can tell, Jefferson is sticking with the old wear, while Hamilton is really enjoying the LA lifestyle, and he's even wearing glasses, and he's learning these new trends.
Can't we just settle this with a duel?
I'm worried that a duel did not go in your favor last time.
Fine, have it your way.
Let's get on with the debate then. The first debate topic is Trump's border security and immigration enforcement improvements, which builds the Mexico/America border wall. Jefferson, would you like to state your opinion first? I oppose this order because a contiguous wall will be built along state borders that may have no desire to construct such a structure. Asylees would not be able to quickly cross the border, possibly allowing their fears of violence to reach them. Immigrants, like Hamilton here, would have an even harder time getting to the United States on top of all the immigration papers. Just because you made it into the United States doesn't mean that you should shut the door on the land of opportunity, because doing so is quite egocentric.
I'll tell you what seems egocentric, Jefferson. The sheer number of slaves you have. Whatever happened to giving all people their rights?
Your hypocrisy is twice as bad as mine. Everyone owns slaves. They're the backbone of agriculture in southern states.
The hypocrite is you, Jefferson. Insisting that all people should have their own individual rights, yet you name yourself the master of 135 slaves.
Gentlemen, can we get back on topic? What I was going to say before you rudely cut me off was that denying asylees the right to safety is cruel.
I am all for these orders, however, plainly due to the fact that they provide a more secure border for all of America. Additional security would only add to the safety of our own nation and the government itself. Once secured, America would simply be further protected by foreign influences. This means that the American government can truly govern without any interference. Pure, strong, standing government, if you ask me.
The second part of this executive order makes it so that when an illegal immigrant is caught, they are held until trial, unlike before when they were released until trial. This is previously known as the Catch and Release Act. My thoughts on the Catch and Release Act? By the presumption of innocence in the Fourth Amendment, suspected immigrants are innocent until proven guilty, and should therefore not be seized until their trial. By strictly violating the Fourth Amendment, this order is unconstitutional.
Addressing our dear Secretary of State's claim, stating that the order goes against the Fourth Amendment rights, I call absolute flapdoodle. The laws state illegal immigrants, referencing those who are against previous laws, going against previous laws, by crossing borders without a permit. Therefore, there is probable cause, and the person may be seized, deeming these orders absolutely constitutional. Unlike Jefferson here, I actually care about our nation being pure.
Pure? It sounds to me like you're relapsing into the monarchy that once bound us. With one difference, you're the monarch. Alright, now that we have heard both of your opinions on this topic, our next subject is Trump's second executive order, which prevents sanctuary jurisdictions from receiving grants from the United States. Hamilton, would you guys like to go first this time?
I would have to agree with the first sanction of this order, seeing that this means the Treasury would not need to provide individual states with grants, especially if they're housing illegal immigrants. This purely aids my vision of a strong national economy. The government will not only lend to those whom the Treasury finds fit, instead of blindly supporting state jurisdiction regarding unauthorized immigrants. If we participate in loans for state governments for such a lost cause, our economy would surely crumble into pieces, just as old Burr's campaign for government did.
He lost his campaign because of your sedition. Calculation of victory and having more ambition are no grounds on which to criticize others. Have you still not learned this from the lesson of death?
My death was just the final straw in securing my belief that humans cannot act with integrity without a concrete force helping them stand up. Shown by your vice president himself, Burr committed first-degree murder. There was no debate in this. Any person of conduct would have not shot to kill, but have shot into the mist of air in signal of morality. precisely as I did. Burr took my life without a second thought.
Burr was in conduct by shooting you. In a duel, the aim is to shoot the other person, not have such poor aim that you hit a tree and pretend that you are humane by missing intentionally. Anyway, I'm in full support of the sanctuary jurisdiction order because it allows the states to decide if they want to shelter immigrants or not. Unlike northern states, some states are fueled by agriculture, which immigrants are vital to. Therefore, the states should individually decide if they want to allow immigrants, rather than allowing the opinions of more populated and business-oriented states to swallow the smaller, more agriculturally oriented states. The next part of this order allows local law enforcement to investigate, apprehend, and imprison unauthorized immigrants rather than the federal government. It also places ICE priorities on catching illegal immigrants who have committed a crime over illegal immigrants that haven't committed a crime besides being illegal.
It is the nation's duty to sanction any actions regarding unauthorized immigrants. After all, the federal government oversees all that occurs in America, which is fitting since they have the best knowledge for any kind of situation regarding immigrants, as collectively, such a government would have the most resources right in hand.
I see the virtue behind the local law enforcement order because it removes the need for the federal government to interfere with state or city-related matters. As local law enforcement know more about their environment, the people, the criminal, and better than the federal government. If the United States must deport immigrants, as you are so adamant to support, it is best to remove the ill-hearted immigrants first, so I'm in favor of this order. Our final debate topic is the third sanction of Trump's second executive order, which allows the Secretary of State to use the acceptance of deported immigrants from another country as a condition in negotiations. I strongly agree with this Secretary of State order because it gives the Secretary of State more bartering power and it admits deported immigrants to the U.S. for a second chance.
But however, not all of what's stated is fine and dandy, in my opinion. Why must only the Secretary of State get to choose the acceptance and negotiations regarding immigrants? Surely these matters will involve the Treasury as well. No doubt will the U.S. have to fund these actions and matters with the expense of our own economy. In fact, the Treasury should be advocated within these negotiations. I agree that the Secretary of State should have unopposed rights in such matters. But there could be no possible harm, rather possible benefits, when including the Treasury with foreign affairs.
Why should the Secretary of the Treasury, when already engulfed in pecuniary matters, participate in foreign affairs that the Secretary of State is already delegated to complete? Such a point is nonsensical and will evidently result in the overpowering of international relations by the Treasury. My last question for both of you to answer individually is, what do you think that the future in front of the one we're in right now to you guys is like? And why do you think that's going to be good or bad related to like immigration laws?
In my personal opinion, I believe that in the future, our economy will just keep on growing. With all these great immigration laws coming in, who knows what we can accomplish? We have this prudent process that immigrants go through to see who is skilled enough to join our vast growing nation of skilled, important, and contributing people. These are called skilled visas for those who don't know. And since I've just learned about this, the science, or as they call it, is now expanding so much that we have mechanical robots that can take over all these manufacturing, factory, mindless jobs that just limit the minds of our people. We want the people to have a mind of themselves, to think under the government, but still further the economy, making it faster, more convenient, and just a vast growing income for our future and future generations to come.
I believe that in the future, things will be pretty bad because our current president is enforcing laws that prevent immigrants from coming in, which means fewer people working in the fields in our southern states, which means less food to support all the people in the growing northern states. So unless our current president comes to his senses, or we get a new president that comes to his senses and repeals these orders or laws, then the future will be taking a turn for the worst. Thank you for taking part in our debate, and see you next time on We the People! Oh, these things, they make agriculture so much easier. They just, like, move on their own. You don't even need to, like, push them. You just tap a button. Make agriculture so much easier. And you can, like, even, like, zoom across the field.
Ever since going back to the future, I have found this amazing invention. Something called a plastic water bottle. Holding my water wherever I go. It's both convenient and economical. Exactly what the Secretary of Treasury needs.
Trash!
Country home, take me home. What is